Did you know that thousands of car owners every year lose money, peace of mind, and sometimes even their lives because of cars that should never have been sold in the first place? That's right. Not all cars are created equal. Some are built with defects, some with dangerous shortcuts, and others with problems so bad they've sparked lawsuits and nationwide recalls. That's why today we're exposing 13 cars you should avoid at all costs. From popular family sedans to luxury SUVs, these vehicles have left a trail of frustrated owners, deadly accidents, and shocking repair bills. And trust me, the last car on this list could make you question everything you thought you knew about reliable brands. Let's get started. Number 13. 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EV. When Chevrolet launched the Bolt EV, it was marketed as the affordable future of electric driving. With decent range, modern tech, and a price tag that made it more accessible than Tesla, many buyers thought they were getting the bargain of the decade. But instead, they were buying into a nightmare. The first big issue? Battery fires. GM had to recall tens of thousands of Bolts because the batteries could overheat and spontaneously ignite. Imagine parking in your garage and waking up to find your house in flames because of your car. That's not just inconvenient, it's catastrophic. But that wasn't the end of the misery. Owners also complained about premature battery degradation, leaving them with shorter range than promised. The infotainment system was notorious for crashing mid-drive, and the suspension felt like it was borrowed from a go-kart. Chevy eventually replaced some battery packs, but the stigma stuck. For a car that was supposed to save money on gas, the Bolt ended up costing many buyers thousands in repairs and stress. Number 12. 2020 Toyota Corolla. Wait, Toyota? The brand famous for reliability? Yes, even Toyota has skeletons in the closet, and the 2020 Corolla is one of them. The trouble started with the CVT transmission. Owners quickly reported jerky shifts, hesitation during acceleration, and sudden loss of power while merging onto highways. For a car bought by families and new drivers, that kind of unpredictability is a serious danger. On top of that, the Corolla's emergency braking system was overly sensitive, sometimes slamming the brakes in the middle of the road for no reason at all. Imagine cruising down the highway when your car suddenly decides there's an obstacle that doesn't exist. Several drivers narrowly avoided being rear-ended because of this glitch. And while Toyota did issue recalls and software patches, the reputation of the 2020 Corolla has taken a hit. It's proof that even the most trusted brands can drop the ball, and when they do, drivers are the ones who pay the price. Number 11. 2022 Jeep Compass. Jeep's reputation has been shaky for years, but the 2022 Compass took disappointment to a new level. For starters, the build quality is shockingly poor. Cheap interior plastics, panels that don't align properly, and a noisy cabin made buyers wonder if Jeep even cared about the product they were selling. But the bigger danger came from the transmission and engine. The 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine was notorious for excessive oil consumption. Some owners reported burning a quarter of oil every 1,000 miles. That's not normal wear. That's a slow death sentence for your engine. Combine that with a 9-speed automatic transmission that often refused to shift correctly, and you had a recipe for disaster. But here's the real kicker. Many Jeep Compass models stalled at highway speeds, leaving drivers stranded in the middle of traffic. Imagine losing power while overtaking a truck. Terrifying. Jeep tried to patch things with recalls, but many owners reported problems persisting even after fixes. The Compass proves that just because an SUV has a rugged Jeep badge, it doesn't mean it's built to last.
Number 10. 2019 Nissan Altima.
The Nissan Altima has been a bestseller for years, often marketed as a practical mid-size sedan for families. But the 2019 model revealed one of Nissan's ugliest secrets, its CVT transmission. Drivers across the U.S. complained of violent shaking, slipping gears, and total transmission failure, sometimes before hitting just 40,000 miles. Imagine buying a reliable commuter car and then facing a $4,000 repair bill before the warranty even expires. It gets worse. Many owners said their Altimas would lose power during acceleration, a nightmare scenario if you're trying to merge onto a freeway or pass another car. Add to that weak suspension parts, premature brake wear, and glitchy infotainment systems, and you get a car that should have been a safe choice, but instead became a ticking bomb. Nissan's refusal to redesign the CVT didn't help either. Instead, they kept pushing the same flawed system into newer models. For the 2019 Altima, it was enough to destroy consumer confidence. Number 9. 2015 Ford Focus. If you've ever heard someone complain about Ford's power shift transmission, chances are they owned a Focus. The 2015 model is one of the worst offenders. Ford advertised this car as sporty, affordable, and efficient, but under the hood was a disaster. The dual-clutch automatic transmission behaved more like a nervous teenager learning stick shift. It shuddered, slipped, and sometimes refused to go into gear at all. The result? Countless lawsuits, buybacks, and a class-action settlement that cost Ford hundreds of millions of dollars. But for everyday drivers, the damage was already done. Many Focus owners ended up stranded on the side of the road or stuck with repair bills higher than the car's actual value. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, some Focus models had electrical issues that drained batteries overnight, along with interior parts that fell apart within just a few years. What was supposed to be Ford's bread-and-butter compact car turned into one of the most infamous lemons in recent history. Number 8. 2017 Hyundai Elantra. Hyundai has made impressive strides in recent years, but the 2017 Elantra exposed just how risky buying early-generation engines can be. The big problem? Engine knocking and total failure. Owners reported loud ticking noises, sudden power loss, and in some cases, engines seizing completely while driving. The cause was traced back to metal debris in the crankshaft, an unforgivable mistake in modern engine manufacturing. Things didn't stop there. The Elantra also suffered from weak suspension components that wore out prematurely, leaving drivers with a bouncy, unstable ride. Some models even had electrical issues that caused headlights to burn out faster than normal, along with malfunctioning sensors that triggered false warning lights. While Hyundai extended warranties and offered engine replacements, the damage to the brand's reputation was clear. A car that was supposed to be affordable and dependable ended up costing owners far more than they bargained for.
Number 7. 2014 Kia Sorento.
The Kia Sorento was supposed to be the budget-friendly alternative to more expensive midsize SUVs. Families loved the spacious cabin, affordable price, and long warranty. But the 2014 Sorento had a dark side that left thousands of owners stranded. The main culprit, catastrophic engine failure. The 2.4L and 3.3L engines were plagued by the same metal debris problem that haunted Hyundai's Elantras and Sonatas. Engines would seize without warning, sometimes in the middle of the highway. Imagine driving your kids to school when your SUV suddenly shuts off with no chance of restarting. Terrifying. Adding insult to injury, the Sorento also suffered from faulty steering systems and weak suspension components. Many owners complained of clunking noises, vibration at high speeds, and premature wear of expensive parts. While Kia eventually extended warranties and offered recalls, it wasn't enough to undo the damage. For thousands of families, the Sorento turned from a practical family hauler into an expensive mistake. Number 6. 2015 Chrysler 200. On paper, the Chrysler 200 was supposed to revive Chrysler's struggling sedan lineup. Sleek styling, modern tech, and plenty of advertising made it look like a serious competitor to the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. But in reality, it was one of the worst cars Chrysler ever built. The problem started with the 9-speed automatic transmission. It shifted erratically, hesitated under acceleration, and sometimes refused to go into gear at all. Chrysler tried to update the software, but the fixes didn't solve the fundamental design flaws. Then came the electrical system failures. Infotainment screens went black without warning, power windows stopped working, and random warning lights lit up like a Christmas tree. For many owners, every trip to the dealership turned into a guessing game of what's going to break next. Consumer Reports and J.D. Power slammed the Chrysler 200 for reliability, and it sold so poorly that FCA discontinued it entirely just 1 year later. That alone tells you everything you need to know. When a company abandons a car after such a short run, it's usually because it's beyond saving. Number 5. 2018 Honda Odyssey. Honda is known for reliability, especially with family vehicles. But the 2018 Odyssey shocked loyal fans by delivering a headache-filled ownership experience. The biggest offender? Transmission failure. Owners reported jerky shifting, sudden power loss, and in some cases complete breakdowns before 50,000 miles. That's unacceptable for a vehicle marketed to families who rely on it for safety and long trips. The Odyssey also had issues with its sliding doors. They would jam, refuse to close properly, or in some cases open unexpectedly while driving. Imagine being a parent and hearing your minivan's rear door start sliding open with kids inside. That's the stuff of nightmares. Other complaints included glitchy infotainment systems, excessive wind noise, and even fuel pump failures. For a car that was supposed to be the ultimate family companion, the 2018 Odyssey ended up being one of Honda's biggest embarrassments in recent history.
Number 4. 2013 Dodge Dart. The Dodge Dart was supposed to be Chrysler's comeback in the compact car market, but instead, it became a cautionary tale. From the start, the Dart suffered from underpowered engines and a sluggish automatic transmission that made it feel like you were driving through molasses. But the real nightmare came from poor build quality. Interior pieces rattled after just a few months, paint peeled prematurely, and electronic glitches plagued everything from the radio to the instrument cluster. Even worse, the Dart had brake system failures that left drivers with grinding noises, spongy pedals, and expensive repairs far too early in the car's life. Reliability scores tanked, sales collapsed, and Chrysler quietly pulled the plug after just a few short years. Today, the Dodge Dart lives on only as a warning. Not every all-new model deserves your trust. Number 3. 2016 Volkswagen Jetta. Volkswagen has built legendary cars, but the 2016 Jetta wasn't one of them. Owners quickly discovered that the Jetta's turbocharged engines were prone to failure. Oil leaks, coolant leaks, and timing chain problems plagued drivers who thought they were buying a fun, efficient sedan. But the real disaster was the electrical system. From malfunctioning sensors to complete infotainment crashes, the Jetta's electronics often failed without explanation. Some owners even reported their car going into limp mode for no reason, cutting power dramatically while driving at highway speeds. And let's not forget Volkswagen's infamous emission scandal that was still fresh in everyone's mind. While the Jetta wasn't the only car caught in Dieselgate, it was one of the models most associated with it. That left many buyers feeling betrayed, not just mechanically, but ethically. Number 2. 2019 Chevy Silverado 1500. Pickup trucks are supposed to be tough, but the 2019 Silverado proved that sometimes looks can be deceiving. On the surface, it had rugged styling and plenty of marketing hype. Underneath, it was full of flaws. The 8-speed automatic transmission was the worst offender. Owners reported hard shifts, shuddering, and complete transmission failure at shockingly low mileage. Combine that with engines that burned oil faster than expected, and you had a truck that couldn't handle the work it was built for. To make matters worse, the interior was cheap and outdated compared to rivals like Ford and Ram.
Road noise, flimsy plastics, and poorly fitted panels made a $50,000 truck feel like a bargain bin economy car. For truck buyers who rely on durability, the 2019 Silverado was an expensive disappointment and one of Chevy's weakest efforts in years. Number 1. 2014 Jeep Cherokee. At the top of the list, the car that mechanics and owners alike warn against the most is the 2014 Jeep Cherokee. On paper, it was Jeep's attempt to blend ruggedness with everyday usability. In reality, it was one of the most unreliable cars of the decade. The transmission was a complete disaster. The 9-speed automatic constantly hesitated, shifted violently, or refused to go into gear altogether. Some owners reported their Cherokees stalling in the middle of traffic, creating life-threatening situations. Then came the engine problems. Oil leaks, blown head gaskets, and even complete engine failures plagued owners well before hitting 100,000 miles. Add in electrical gremlins that caused warning lights to flicker endlessly, and you had a vehicle that felt cursed from day one. Even Jeep loyalists admitted defeat. Lawsuits piled up, recalls dragged on, and the Cherokee's reputation was permanently destroyed. If there's one car you should absolutely avoid, it's this one. So there you have it. 13 cars mechanics warn you never to buy. From unreliable transmissions to catastrophic engine failures, these vehicles prove that not every shiny new car is built to last. But here's the takeaway. Flashy ads, trusted brand names, and even glowing early reviews can hide deep flaws. The smartest buyers are the ones who dig deeper, research recalls, and learn from the painful experiences of others. And if you're shopping for a used car today, remember, sometimes avoiding the wrong car is even more important than finding the right one. Because in the end, a bad car doesn't just drain your wallet. It can drain your patience, your safety, and even your trust in an entire brand. So the next time you're in the market, do your homework. And if this list saved you from making a big mistake, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned, because here at AutoFix Secrets, we'll keep exposing the cars that don't deserve your money.